Hey fellow comrades, welcome back. Now I have a couple of things to discuss, a couple of topics I want to be talking about. Of course I'm gonna have something in the background so you guys have actually something to watch, so it's not gonna be any boring screen. But of course if you don't want to be hearing me talking random stuff, then I please do recommend you to just skip this video. I will completely understand, but if you're in here to watch this match, I did kinda sorta put some decent speed into it, and I did kind of make my moves quite fast, so of course you can put some music in the background and you're still gonna have some decent random matches to be watching and hopefully enjoying. But nevertheless, I have a couple of things I want to mention in this particular video. I kind of want to update you guys on a couple of things. I did sort of mention this on my previous video, but I sort of want to mention this in my actual video, because on my previous video I mentioned this in description, and today I want to be sort of talking with you guys on the subject of my Pokemon Wi-Fi show. Now, Pokemon Wi-Fi, you guys may already realize, but the show had around 600 people subscribed to it. That's a good number. I was actually quite surprised, but it was a little bit a good strike in the heart to know that there was just so many people getting up to the new level of dedication to subscribe to the show, just so they will not stay behind. You know, as a YouTuber from the years have evolved in a tremendous way. You know, I still kind of prefer the old classic YouTube. I don't know, like the old 2008 view, which is long forgotten, unfortunately. But of course, you know, YouTube is making a new change for the growth of the channel. Of course, I gotta think about it. In the end, YouTube is a big ass business, and you know, everybody's gotta think about that. You know, everybody's gotta think about it, how to evolve it for the greater good of the site's benefit, because nothing can stay the same for long, and it doesn't matter how many people are gonna have something against it. Eventually, we will just all have to deal with it and just give it a big ass embrace, you know, and just get along with it. It's pretty much like Team Preview in the Futuration. You know, at first we all start to hate it, but at times we kinda include it for what it was, and nowadays we don't even bother with it. It's just there, and I actually start to loving it. We just have, as a human being, we just have hard time accepting new stuff. You know, just new looks. It doesn't matter how good the layout would have worked out. There would just be so many people taking the advantage of the so-called poor layout, which is not the best. I still kind of prefer the previous one, but people tend to take that to a whole new level by ranting about it, and of course they know that majority are gonna like them for ranting for something they don't like as well. So we're not here to talk about YouTube change, but with the YouTube change came down a possibility of a couple of subscription boxes that are gonna be harder now to handle. Of course, I'm talking about my Pokemon Black and White 2 show. You guys may already realize that I have two shows. One is Pokemon Black and White 2, and one is Pokemon Black and White. You know, I kind of want to mention that Pokemon Black and White is long history. I'm gonna stick with Pokemon Black and White 2. There is really no reason to go back. Not to mention that, when you think about it, I was actually quite surprised how lackful the Pokemon Black and White, the first game's Wi-Fi stage, was. Have you ever noticed? Well, of course you noticed. I had so many battles and people upload so many battles of it. Have you actually noticed how horrible the background was for the Wi-Fi battles? The colors, everything was absolutely horrible. And I actually like the change of the new background in the Black and White too. But this is not about the colors. Of course, I'm trying to skip over topics all the time. I really have a hard time focusing on one thing, but I'm gonna try to do my best. So back to the topic. Still currently have 600 people subscribed to it, but I want to mention to those people, if you're watching this by any chance, please by all means go there, unsubscribe to that show, because that's just a subscription that's not gonna give you anything else. I'm done with Pokemon Black and White. I'm sticking with Pokemon Black and White 2. It has additional stuff, and Wi-Fi wise, there is nothing Black and White is giving me that Pokemon Black and White is not giving me. In all respect, Pokemon Black and White is just the superior option. Of course, gaming wise, it's a different scenery completely, but we have new Pokemon, you know, being included in the new games, and Wi-Fi. Not a single thing can be said that is not included in 2. You know, in the previous one we didn't have Tornadus T and Fairy forms and all those things. So no reason to go back. But of course, fourth generation is different. You know, we don't have any team preview, we don't have those stuff to deal with. So it's a completely different scenery. If I'm gonna go back, it's definitely gonna be fourth generation. There is no reason to go back to the Pokemon Black White, the prequel. So again, I recommend you guys to unsubscribe to that show and subscribe to my new one if you want to get updated. Of course, it is your decision to make, especially now with YouTube being changed, subscription not being all that, you know, all that reliable, and it never was, especially now with the whole thing just being a mess. I do kind of recommend you to subscribe to it just to be 100% sure you are getting all my stuff if you do like watching my videos. Lots of people over the years have told me they aren't getting my videos, and I believe them. You know, I do, especially nowadays that YouTube decide to destroy the inactive channels and destroy the, you know, close down, well, not close down channels, just the dead channels that didn't have much activity going on. So that's understandable, but I believe that that change did sort of make a couple of effects on majority of channels, because I had a couple of people tell me that they somehow got unsubscribed to me, but they never plan on unsubscribing to my channel because they love my videos. One of them was a good YouTuber. His name is 6foot Hacks, and I'm pretty sure he would have never unsubscribed to my channel, thinking about planning on to unsubscribe my channel, because he tends to watch lots of my videos. And somehow YouTube decided to unsubscribe him to my channel. But this is weird, because if there is one active person, it's definitely Leo. I've seen him commenting on my videos like at least once like every 2 weeks, and that kind of speaks on its own. I mean, 2 weeks, it's pretty damn dedicated. You know, you don't unsubscribe such a person to somebody else's channel. Thankfully, that system is done, or at least YouTube has said it's done. So finally, they're not destroying our subscribers. I mean, one guy is already a system fail. If they're gonna keep on going with it, it's like they're trying to rebuild something, you know, trying to give somebody else the exposure. But again, it doesn't matter. Again, YouTube is all about business and trying to get exposure, especially now with their YouTube new system of recommending other channels, which is a nice idea, because every time I look at YouTube, you know, I like my retro games. I like the old games, Nintendo games, and people making reviews and LPs and so on. And again, I'm kind of jumping over topic here, but let's talk about that a bit. I like my old games, and I like to watch a couple of new people, YouTube, you know, recommend me. And every day I come across this one guy that likes, you know, that likes the same stuff I like, and you know, I like watching his reviews. There are lots of collectors out there with really quality videos, and they're just people that are really unknown, and YouTube has somehow actually managed to recommend me, and that's just great. You know, I didn't have to search for them, didn't have to search, because let's be serious here. When you search in the first pages, you tend to get like the most known YouTubers, but then after time, of course, there are still the most known YouTubers in the suggestions to recommend to subscribe to them. It's like the biggest of the biggest. You know, half of them are cool, but the other half, it's just like there. It's like, why would I watch like a girl talking about makeup? And really, when did I watch this? Why is YouTube recommending me this? Let's be serious here. I never watched such videos. So why is YouTube recommending me this? Okay, so the system isn't perfect. The system is sort of sometimes actually recommending you the wrong things. But that's only for the sidebar, you know. That's just, I guess, the most highest YouTubers are always going to be there, so that's understandable. Again, trying to give the exposure to the highest YouTubers because they are making YouTube happy. That makes sense. Yeah, but what else do we have to talk about? Of course, lately I actually got this one guy that was talking that he just started making videos, and he actually uploaded 2 of them, which I did watch. I still didn't give him any input, but I'm gonna take my time, and I'm gonna get back to him. But this is not about me giving him input. This is about the message he sent me. You know, he was like, I'm into Pokemon Wi-Fi. Well, he actually uploads Pokemon Online, which is, you know, Pokemon Wi-Fi, Pokemon Online. It's all pretty much the same for me. You know, you're battling others over the world. But he told me, you know, he sort of likes the whole competitive aspect. He kind of wants my input on stuff, how to improve, and he's been watching my videos for years. And you know, just asking me for the input is just you aren't asking the right person here. I feel like watching that guy's videos that he told me to give him some input on how to improve his stuff. I felt like he put way more effort. I felt like he did a way better job than I ever did when I started, you know. And like I mentioned, I still believe I'm a decent, commentator. I believe that my English is still heavily limited. I still believe I can improve. I can improve, but it's been years now, and I've seen my improvement. I've seen it. Maybe I expect a little bit more, but really, I'm sort of happy from the improvement I have gained. Going back, I was horrible. Let's be honest here. I believe I was horrible, and even now, I'm still thinking I'm learning. I do know a couple of basic stuff about Pokemon. I feel like I'm a good player. I'm a good player. I'm not, gonna try to talk about like I'm the best, I'm the best of the best. No, the best is the player that accepts defeat. The best is a player that's got respect for the other player, that doesn't underestimate, that doesn't call people noobs because you're just childish. The best is the player that has no excuses. The best is a player that doesn't disconnect you just because he doesn't want to get humiliated by somebody sweeping you with a Magikarp or something. And I've seen people like that. And I've seen people disconnecting even on streams, but I'm not gonna go into that. But still, if you're already battling somebody, don't disconnect to him. Run. Give him that win well deserved. You should never do that. Only those players should be called noobs. They do deserve to be called noobs. The others, they're just new players. They are learning the current meta. They are learning the game itself. You cannot call somebody a noob just because he starts something. Okay, that's just wrong. And you gotta understand him, because you were once a new player and you were doing some really crazy stupid stuff. Not to mention that maybe you watch some videos and you learn from somebody, but maybe those guys didn't watch videos, and watching videos isn't the same as experiencing the game on its own. How did I actually jump on this topic? I have no idea. Well, there were two reasons why I started this. I love Pokemon. Pokemon has been my freaking life. Been playing Pokemon since the first generation came out, playing Red and Blue, playing Gold and Silver, playing all those games. I'd be like Gold 15 times. Pokemon has been the shit. Everybody knows this, okay? I've never been into card games. I've been mostly just battling people, sometimes over school. Didn't know anything, like EV spreads. What are those? We didn't have them. Well, actually, they were not EV spreads. They were something else, like divine points, values, or some DVP. I don't even. Really, I don't even know today what's the hell is going on with the 6th generation, training of the stats, but the EVs being included in the 3rd generation, I was like, what's that? I didn't even know. I didn't even know there was this one Pokemon in the 3rd generation which I barely. Yeah, it was a Scizor. I believe it was like in the 4th generation that I started to realize Scizor was a 6th generation Pokemon, because I never encountered him. I believe you couldn't encounter him without the trade to actually somehow witness him evolving. Only in the 4th generation did I realize there was a Scizor in the 2nd generation, which I gone back and I was like, wait, this was the Pokemon that was in this game? Holy damn, this thing looks strong. And it sorta was, but at the same time it really wasn't, because let's be serious here, Scizor is all about Bullet Punch. But that's my first reason, enjoying Pokemon, because Pokemon has been my hobby, and Pokemon is still my hobby, and I'm gonna be enjoying it, to the very end of this series, which I'm not sure how far this will go. Tell me, guys, how far do you think it will go? Do you think the 6th generation is gonna be the last one, or do you think that the population of this game is just gonna make it greater, to where they're gonna need to include 7th generation? That's gonna be crazy. But I never ever want to see it like true 3D. Hell no, don't do that. You're gonna destroy the series. I've seen 3D games, and if the game is gonna be like the arena games, well, I like the old games, the old Nintendo 64 games, and the GameCube were actually quite decent. But the Wii, I own that game, and it's just doesn't have the spirit. It just doesn't have the soul in that game. It feels like it was rushed in a way, and it is a little bit blank, like compared to the previous one. I feel like the previous one, like I mentioned in one of my videos, just has that much more personality. And this is coming down from a person that actually owns the game. You know, I'm not gonna be saying because people are hating on Wii because they don't own a Wii and so on. To each their own, you know. But comparing to the previous ones, I just like that better. You know, the previous ones. But again, you know, Pokemon should stay with the same formula. Just stay with the things you have. Don't try to drastically change it, and stuff are gonna go the right way for the series. But then again, you know, some things do need to drastically change at times. My second reason was to improve my English. Again, I still feel like I'm heavily limited. Maybe this is the reason I've never really focused on LPing anything. I've been pretty much just sort of pushing myself back from LPing something. I did it once, but Pokemon Heart Gold, just watching it, you know, when you make videos, you gotta look at your own videos, you know. You gotta judge your own videos at times. You gotta sort of need to like your own videos. And looking at it back, I don't feel like Pokemon Heart Gold was that great of an LP. People enjoyed it, which was nice to see, but I don't know. You know, it was my first LP, and everybody that's starting somewhere, of course, is pretty new to the whole thing. Still gotta learn a couple of things. Still kind of need to chill back a bit, you know, because first LP is just different, you know, and everybody that starts somewhere is definitely worse than in their newest LP. That's a fact. That's of course a fact. Everybody practice and gets much better after time. This goes for pretty much everything. I always wanted to make an LP, but I have a couple of problems with it. I don't feel like my commentary is gonna give my LPs just a decent level of quality where it's not gonna get boring for you guys. Of course, I want to make like an LP of something crazy like Pokemon Kaizo Blue, where the difficulty is utter bullshit. Okay, I believe Kaizo actually means asshole, if I'm not mistaken, and I believe that gives it justice because I believe it is an asshole game. The difficulty is totally asshole. Just ask Archisel. He got destroyed over and over and over again. Yeah, he did beat the game, but that was not Nuzlocke. And I've asked you guys if you guys, you know, I had like a death wish back then, and I've asked you guys, of course, if you want to see me make a Nuzlocke of Pokemon Kaizo Blue, that was. And you guys give me some great responses because lots of people wanted to see those being made. It's still, you know, up to this day, I don't know, I've been thinking about it because there is another thing you gotta know about me. Dedication to LPing. You know, every day, dedication to some of the people on YouTube. Pretty much upload like 5 videos a day. I'm like, where the hell do they get the time to upload so many videos a day? But you know, they found their time, and I feel like a good LP should never be overdone, meaning that you should just chill back, talk about random stuff at times, and talk about the games. Of course, talk about the games most of the time because that is what an LP is, talking about games. Not, you know, I've never been into Call of Duty, but majority of commentators I've seen have been talking about their personal life and all this random stuff. I don't like listening to personal stuff. I want to listen to people tell me what they were planning and, you know, just the strategy, if the game has any. Of course it has, but yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. I'm into stuff and I want them to talk about those stuff. I don't want them to talk about their personal life. I don't even know the guys. Why would I care? You know? Of course, I do care at times, but you know, if you go into like I don't know, yesterday I was on a funeral. I feel for you, man, but this is YouTube a video. You should talk about the game. I guess, you know, there is really not much to talk about. It depends, and everybody has different tastes. Some people like, you know, hearing people make random stuff like I'm doing it right now. If I'm gonna make an LP, I'm gonna try to focus on talking about the game, what's happening, and how I'm actually gonna try to preserve my Pokemon without dying. Of course, it is Nuzlocke, and that's the thing to it, because even after thinking about it, I've come to realize that yeah, it is a hard game, but you know, just the pure fact, the pure pleasure of seeing such hard game trying to play it Nuzlocke, the difficulty of that game may make commentary just not that important. Let's be serious here. Everybody wants to see an LPR gets destroyed in Nuzlocke, or at least I. I've seen Wild Chase like playing Nuzlocke. I was like, when is this guy gonna get beaten? You know, you always are on the side of justice. In this case, you are on the side of an NPC trying to beat him. That's another thing I like. I like people that are themselves. You know, I don't like people that act, especially in horror games. You know, nowadays LPers get to a whole new level where it's actually quite easy to spot the whole acting. I just don't like. I feel like it's overreacting and people just, you know, it's working for some, and I guess to each their own. You know, everybody has different tastes. Some people like the whole acting, especially with Slender. I've seen people just getting scared when you can easily spot they weren't scared at all. I mean, how can Slender actually makes you scared when you actually watch at least one video of it? Because you already know the secret of it. You already know how he's gonna react when he goes up to you. You already know how stuff are gonna change when you get some letters. How the whole feeling and the whole background sounds are gonna change over the course of the game. You already know what's coming to you. So having such high spoilers, how can anything scare you after that? There is literally nothing to scare you because the game is scary if you don't know anything about it. If you go into it and you don't know how Slender looks like, you are in the dark, in the forest, trying to get all the papers in the game, but you don't know anything after that. Once you watch somebody making it like to the very 7th letter or 8th, you already know what's coming to you, and you already know the secrets to never get to some spots, and you should get to some spots first down round before you get trapped after that. Again, you know, some people actually get scared all of a sudden from something that they should obviously already spot it and should obviously already know what's gonna happen. Something like that should never scare you. If it does, then wow, that's a whole new level. You are an easy person to be scared. Somebody should make like a Slender in real life, like literally somebody walking in the forest and like trying to somebody really trying to scare somebody to death. So that would have been great. Now that is something to see. I'm pretty sure somebody has already made it. I still gotta search for it. Yeah. Where was I? What was I talking about? Yeah. I like my LPs. I like the people I watch. I like when people are themselves. You know, I don't like I said, overreacting. You know, acting the whole thing. For example, I respect Wild Chase, and I found his LPs just different. First of all, people back before have called him like an OU whore, the absolute of the absolute, right? And nowadays he's pretty damn original. He's more original than me. That's all I'm gonna say. You know, I look at the Electivire here missing, being all Electivire, and this is why Electivire just isn't his luck. I mean, seriously, he misses 3 cross shops in a row. But back to the thing, yeah, Wild Chase, he's got so much creativity behind him with his LPs. Looking at it back, I found his LPs very, very enjoyable, and this is because he's himself. He isn't acting. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn, and that is what I respect about him. You know, he doesn't change because somebody else told him to change. You don't change a person. You don't force a change. If a person is gonna change, it's gonna change by his own. But why change? You should let a person be what he is and accept him for what he is. I mean, he's a pretty damn good guy. I mean, back in the days, I'm gonna tell you guys a bit of a secret here. Back in the days when I was attacked by so many trolls, you know, there was a Central 101. I mean, it was like a living hell back there. You know, people were childish everywhere. I got attacked by disconnecting somebody, which I, of course, didn't. I never disconnected in my life. It literally happened. The blue screen happened. I mean, it's not the first time to happen to anyone, but it happened to a player that, of course, couldn't handle it. So he decided to make a reply, you know, making the moves same turn, and I did make the moves, but the people still didn't stop hitting on my channel. Wild Chase was the one that private messaged me and was the only person that believed me for not disconnecting. Can you believe this now? This is the person so many people have hated. This is the person that it just in the Pokemon community tends to get the most hate. And why is that? Literally, who is making this? Like, think about it. This is the guy that believed in me for not disconnecting. The person that stand besides me there. And everybody else was a douche. Think about that. The guy's a great guy. I mean, you can easily spot that. But that's just something to give you thinking. Yeah, that's... You know what, guys? It's been ages now. It's done. It's done. We're done with this. If you guys want to see that Pokemon Blue Kaizo, let me know. And if you guys really want to see it, I'm definitely going to bring you guys this, because Pokemon is forever. Until next time, guys, peace out.